What's going on, guys? This is Bunny Muffins. I got a new TFT video today. Following up from a previous video, we're gonna take another look at what Korea is doing, but this time in 9.21. This patch released a couple days ago, so it gave a little bit of time for the meta to settle. It's very similar to 9.20 in terms of the compositions being played. As usual, I've been watching hours and hours of Korean VOD, so you don't have to for these findings. Again, this was a small patch, so while compositions and itemizations have not changed that much, strategies and economy management has drastically changed. Most late game compositions from last meta are now adjusted to be a little faster, players are all-inning a little earlier, and we're seeing less intentionally losing in the early stages. I also see some people all-inning more at level 7 rather than waiting at level 8, trying not to die and trying to hit top 4. I'm just going to give a quick rundown of all the comps, as well as this new 6 Sorcerer comp that I found that was very interesting. But for the ones that were played last patch, I'm just going to do a really quick overview, just so you guys know what's still being played. The first composition is a Kaisa build. Pretty much all the other stuff doesn't really matter. You just need a level 2 Kaisa, and then you could play her with pretty much anything. You could play her with 6 Knights, 6 Nobles, 6 Brawlers. The best one, ideally, is the Void Brawler one, but you don't always get the Voids. And all the other builds are easier to transition from, but hey, if you happen to hit it, great for you. You just need at least one Giant Slayer, preferably another attack speed item or another Giant Slayer, and then a Dragon Claw. Trap Claw also is pretty decent on her, but I think these are the 3 best items. Everything else does not really matter, but if you get the Akali too, you could throw some Infinity Edges on her. Doesn't really affect too much other than needing the Kaisa too. The next composition is very similar to the Kaisa build, except you're stacking Jinx with Giant Slayers. For this one, I prefer having 2 Giant Slayers over the Rage Blade, but the difference is very minimal. You just need at least one Giant Slayer, and then you just run 6 Brawlers. Make sure to put the Blitzcrank next to Jinx so that she gets the easy first kill, and then she gets a bunch of resets off of that. Other on-hit items belong on Lucian, and any AP items go on Vi or Cho'Gath. This one should be no surprise. This is the Dragon Guardian Shapeshifter Sorcerer build. The key components are Gnar, Aesol, and some of the dragons, Shyvana and Pantheon. Leona you kind of add in later at level 8. If you get a Guardian Angel, you throw that on Swain. You don't even need Swain in this composition. Nidalee works well. Just any Shapeshifter really fits this spot, because unless you have items for Swain, you don't really need to complete him. You could just put in anyone else. Next, we have a build that wasn't played so much last patch, but is picking up more in popularity this patch. This is a 4 demon build. Demons are very strong in the mid game. Aatrox with Guardian Angel or Yuumi is very powerful. He just one-shots entire teams. If you get him to level 2 after Krugs or towards the near Wolf Camp, he just completely carries you through the mid game, and you don't really need to spend any gold rolling once you complete him, which is the great part about him. But this build just revolves around having 4 demons. You can add in a Varus as well, but this composition is still very strong. You can add in Guardians later when you level up. The last of the old compositions that we're going to go over very briefly is the Imperial Knight build. This one just revolves around having Draven with the trifecta of items, Giant Slayer, Rage Blade, Dragon Claw. If you get Swain, great. If you have GA Morel on him, even better. But you just run as many Knights as you can. You run Kindred. You could run Blade Masters as well to complement Draven. Now we're on to the fun part. We have some 6 Sorcerer builds. I've seen the top Korean player pretty much spam this. He plays it in maybe around 60 to 70% of his games. Obviously, you can't force this comp because it's very reliant on Yuumi. But I'm going to show you some variations that he builds. And this is the one that I think's very strong. It revolves around 6 Sorcerer, 3 Shapeshifters, and some Dragons. And you could pretty much use the Sorcerers kind of as Knights. You just have 6 of them, except they give you, instead of giving you damage reduction, they give you a lot of spell damage instead, which is really great for your entire team. All the itemization doesn't really matter too much. You just want as much AP as possible for your backline and maybe a Guardian Angel on Swain. Another variation I've seen him do is one revolving around Guardians. So same base as before, you just get 5 Sorcerers. The Sorcerers don't really matter too much. You just play whatever you can get to level 2. And this one just adds Pantheon for Guardians and Leona, and you also still get the Dragon buff for Aurelion Soul. So you're still buffing Aurelion Soul, but you just have a lot more power behind it. You could also sell Aatrox, move the Yuumi to Pantheon as well as you get later into the game when you find a better unit to run. But again, Aatrox very good for transitioning. He's probably the primary mid-game carry that people use. The beauty about 6 Sorcerer is that you can run it with almost anything. So whatever you hit upgrades on, in this game he hit Cho'Gath 2 and Kindred 2 fairly easily. So he just kind of kept them in the game. And if you get them to level 2, they're very strong units on their own. So he had the Kassan for the Void buff for Cho'Gath, and he had Kindred and Karthus for the Phantom buff. Phantom is still very strong in this patch. And of course, you have the classic Dragon synergy with Pantheon and Aurelion Soul. And you also add in Guardians when you normally play Pantheon. This one you need to get to level 9 with, obviously, to get to this point. But since he got Cho'Gath and Kindred for free, pretty much, he was able to win all those games and econ up to level 9. You don't always have to hit level 9 in this composition, but it is something that I've seen him do very often just because he completely dominates the mid game with Aatrox, so it gives you a lot of economy in order to level up the entire game. I'm going to show you one last build. This one's just a 4 demon comp. This is being played everywhere, not just in Korea. Demons, again, very strong in the mid game, so with the damage changes that were introduced, it's a very viable comp. This one revolves around 4 demons: Aatrox, Morgana, Brand, and Varus. You could also make the Darken item, put that on Aurelion Soul maybe, and then later in the game, you could just add in 2 Guardians. You don't really need these. You could add pretty much anything that you hit. You just want this as a base because you want 3 Sorcerers and 4 Demon. That's it for now. Nothing too much changed from this patch and last patch. The only thing I've been seeing differently is the 6 Sorcerer build, and he is rank 1 in Korea right now. And I haven't really seen this much in NA or EU, so hopefully you guys can go ahead and try that. With that in mind, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and of course smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.